Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory and home of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have the second of my free classes that I'm offering during Sale-A-Bration. And please do let me know if these are of value to you, and I might continue them beyond the end of Sale-A-Bration into March as well. But today we're going to be using the beautiful Sending Love bundle. And I want to let you know that these cards can be used for Valentine's Day, but actually none of the sentiments I'm using today have Valentine in them. So they can be used for other things as well. So whether you're a fan of Valentine's Day or not, please have a look at this class and see if it's something that you might enjoy. All right, so let's get right to our class. I'll just switch the camera here. All right, so we're going to start with this card here, and I'll be showing you all the different supplies I'm using. If you click on Learn More, it will take you to my website. Here it is, www.juliescraftaddict.com, and that's where I have all my card designs, which I post regularly throughout the week. Sometimes I post more than others. And I've just posted about these particular cards, and I will have more information there about all the supplies I've used and how you can get the card packets for free. So let me show you those. When you place an order of $60 or more with me by the end of January 24th, that's $60 or more before tax and shipping, I will send you class packets just like this. So the class kit essentially to make all of the cards that I'm going to show you today. So that will be free with your $60 order. And in addition to giving you these free, and I'll ship them to you for free, but you have to pay the order shipping, whatever that is from Stampin' Up. But these ones I'll ship free to you. In addition to receiving these free, you will also get to choose a Sale-A-Bration item. So with every $60 spend, you get a free item from Sale-A-Bration. It could be paper, it could be ribbon, it could be a stamp set. There's all kinds of different things to choose from this year. And I can give you more info if you need that. But I just wanted to show you what my class packets look like. And this class is actually going to be used as my team class this month. So if you join my team, Creative Cafe, I do offer a $15 a month class. And this is going to be the class this month. So it's a real bargain. That's $15, including the shipping to send it to them. But I'm also offering this one online with $60 order this month. So let's get right to our class. And let's work on this card first. And I'll just show you the bundle here so you can see what it looks like. So this is the Sending Love bundle. And you can see it's got this really cute mailbox stamp. It's got these little kind of postmark stamps, and there's the postmark to put on it. You've got the little envelope bird. You've got little hearts, all kinds of really nice things here. And even though it's got all these hearts, it never says anything about Valentine's Day. So it can be for any occasion that you want. And I really like the dies. So the dies come like this. They're also called Sending Love dies. And here's what they look like. And they make all kinds of cool things. So you can do the mailbox. You can cut out the mailbox you stamped. And we're going to do a whole lot of things with these during this class. All right, so let's get right into it now. So here's the card we're going to make today. And I always like to start with my stamping first because the stamping is the messy part. So I like to make sure that the stamping gets done first, and then there's not going to be a great big mess on your table or on your project because you get that done first. So when I send you these free packets with your $60 order, everything will be pre-cut just like you see here. And here is a circle that I cut. Now this was cut with the Stylish Shapes dies, which are one of my go-tos. So it's all these nice nested circles and squares, or diamonds if you like, and nested labels as well. So those are really useful and I use them all the time. And I cut this one because it fits exactly this stamp that we're going to use today. So it's this stamp here, a little note to say, I miss you. So that's a really nice one. So let's get that out of the, whoops, it's stuck to the case there. I just got to lift it up a little bit. So we will put that on our acrylic block, and maybe I'll put it on straighter than that so I can stamp it easier. There we go. Now, because these are rubber stamps, they don't require any conditioning. There's no factory coating on them, so you don't have to worry about that. And the ink that I used here was Flirty Flamingo. So here's my Flirty Flamingo. Let's open that. I really like this color. It's kind of got a tropical feel, as you can kind of guess from the name of it. And it's just a really pretty color. So let's see what we can do here. And also with all of these cards, I'm using DSP, that's the pattern paper, that is a free item in Sale-A-Bration. So you'll get to see a couple of the free papers today. Now this stamp is just about the same size as the circle I cut. So all you have to do is just kind of get right over top of it and match it up exactly to the outline, and then press down. And we'll hold it for a few seconds to make sure that it really transfers the ink nicely for us. And there you go. Looks very nice, doesn't it? So it's just made for it, really. It's perfect in size. So that's our stamping, and that's the only stamping we have to do on this card at all. So let's clean up our stamp so we don't have a big mess. I'm just using my very well-loved chamois here. It's just a foamy material that's specially made for this, and then you stamp, and you can kind of squish the stamp around in it. All you do is wet down this chamois, so it's just water, no chemicals, and I really like that about it. So you don't have to have a cleaning spray or anything else for all these water-based inks. So I'm going to put my stamp back in the case here so that I know where it is and it doesn't get stuck to anything else. And we will proceed with putting together the rest of the card. So let's just close up my ink too. That could be a disaster otherwise. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to construct this little mailbox first. So when you place your $60 order with me by January 24th, like I said, you'll get a free Sale-A-Bration choice, so you can choose what you like. And you'll also get my free class packets for this class I'm demonstrating right now. And you'll see this is exactly what you'll get. You'll get all of these papers pre-cut. I might have to substitute some different patterns, but they'll all match. And they'll already be done. And then you just have to assemble them and do your own stamping. So you provide your own stamps and ink. So here is the mailbox, and you'll see it has some score lines on there. So there's the score line. So we're going to bend that and fold it. There's another score line here on the bottom. You can see that line across. And so we're going to fold that too. And then you can kind of see what the mailbox looks like. Okay. Now, because we're not going to see the other side of the mailbox, I'm going to do this the easy way. And I'm going to flip this little fold over. And what I'm going to do to secure that is actually just use regular old tape. So I like to conserve my more expensive adhesives whenever I can. So if I can use regular old tape to do the job, I like to do that because a lot of the tapes are acid-free these days. You have to check. But if they are, you can go ahead and use them, and then they shouldn't degrade your paper. All right, so we've got that done. Now let's see. Why don't we put the little letter in the mailbox? So the little letter in the mailbox is actually made with this die here, and then you fold it in. So you'll see how to do that. This piece here is what we just made with the mailbox. So it doesn't look like much on here, but it does when you fold it up. And these papers are actually the most adored papers. Let me show you those patterns before I forget about that. So these are the free Sale-A-Bration paper with $60 spend. So if you placed a $120 order, you'd actually get to choose 2 of these if you wanted to, or 2 of any item. Then they have some $120 choices as well, but you could just get more papers if you wanted. So there's the gold foil on one side with all kinds of these pretty prints. And then on the back of it, you get all of these different prints. So you've got real red, white, and Flirty Flamingo as your colors. And it's just a super pretty paper. I really like it. Whether it's for Valentine's or just because you want to make a card with reds and pinks. My favorite color is actually red, so I really like it. All right, so let's take our die cut out. So here's the little die cut that we made with this from the Sending Love bundle, okay? So we're just going to fold on the score lines. So you can just fold it really firmly so that it'll stay together as a letter. And then we'll fold this one. So we'll fold all of them and then we'll put them together the way that we want. And we'll glue them pretty hard so that they don't come apart. That's the only challenge I find with this kind of die that folds in on itself. It's just to keep the folds down because this is a fairly rigid paper since it is basic white cardstock. So you need to make sure that you secure it really, really well. And you can see here that it pops up a little, but that is actually nice because it looks like a real envelope that way. So I just folded that in. You can see that there's two different flaps here to fold in this way. So this one is kind of cut off and this one has a point. And of course, for an envelope, you want the point to be out so you can see it, right? So let's go ahead and put some adhesive inside there. So you can use whatever adhesive you like. I have Stamp & Seal because I find that really convenient and less messy than the liquid glue. But liquid glue works really well too. And for this purpose, liquid glue would be a really nice choice actually because it would stick really hard. But I'm just going to go ahead with this. And we'll put some on there. So I put some just inside there. Now I'm going to put some more adhesive on the flap here. The one that has kind of the cut off piece. We're going to fold that in. And then we're going to put some more adhesive on this flap and fold that in as well. And then we'll have this cute little letter. So it's going to look really nice. And if you look online, you can just kind of Google this set, which is called Sending Love, for the stamps and dies. There's a bundle. And people have done all kinds of fun stuff with it. All right, so there's our little envelope. So you could even write on the back if you were going to be able to see the back of it. But we're just going to tuck ours in the mailbox. So now we need to put a little heart on it like this. So I will have that included in these packets as well with your $60 order. You'll get that for free as well, all these little pieces. And I'm just going to try to get it out of the envelope here. So I've got all this stuff in there. Don't want to lose any of the little pieces. So if you do place an order with me and receive these free, make sure that you just don't shake out the packets kind of too vigorously because the little pieces can kind of get lost. So there is a heart. And again, that comes from the Sending Love dies. So that's the heart right there. And they give you two of them actually. So 1, 2. And then they've got a set of different sized hearts. So you can punch multiple ones or die cut multiple ones at the same time. So I am going to use a glue dot to stick that on. And I just realized I did something on the mailbox a little too quickly, so I'm going to have to undo my tape for a minute, and I'll show you why, but that's all right. It's never too late. You can always fix something if you get too excited and jump ahead. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of lift up the edge of the tape. So that's a good reason to have this tape because it readily comes off. And what I didn't do was address this little hole. You can see it better on that side. See that little hole there? What we're going to do is put a brad through that. So we're going to put on the little mailbox flag. Okay, so the flag is made with those same dies. Here's the little flag. So we are going to put our brad through it there. Now this is a brad that Stampin' Up! Sold a long time ago because I had a bunch left over, but they do sell a current version of brads as well. And I've got the whole supply list on my website, so just click on Learn More and you can get the whole supply list there. So here's what you have to do. Just kind of pry apart the little bits of the brad and you just bend them down. Okay. So that's what we're going to do only inside the mailbox, but I want them primed because sometimes it's hard to open them when you're trying to do it at the time. So we're just going to close them back up to get through the hole here, and now we know they're kind of open. So we're going to put them through the back of our mailbox here. Oops, I got to pinch them together just a little bit more to get them in there. Actually, I have to put it through the front. I'm doing it the wrong way here. All right, so we're going to put that through. Okay, so we've got that through, and now on the back, on the pink side here for this particular paper, we're just going to put those brad pieces apart. We're going to bend the mailbox over, and we're going to tape that up. Okay, so that is how you make the mailbox. It's actually really simple. It looks a little complicated in the dies because it doesn't look like anything until you put it together, but it's actually super simple. And then your little flag moves. So that's pretty cool. Now we are going to put our letter in. So you can decide how far in the mailbox you want it to go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glue dot on the back there and just use that because glue dots stick really hard. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put it in the mailbox kind of like that. Stick it down. So I just stuck one glue dot on this side and we're going to press it down and there it is. And it kind of pops up a little because it's not adhered down on this side. It's secure, but it pops up and it makes it look more real in 3D. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put together the rest of the mailbox. Now you can decide kind of where you want that. And again, what I'm going to do is just flip that over and use tape. Rather than depend on glue to stick to some of this foil, which can be a little tricky, I'm just going to use the tape and tape that on. Okay, it'll stick really well because we're going to adhere it to our vellum here, so it's all right. Okay, so we've got that together. So there's our little mailbox, and that wasn't hard, was it? It's just a matter of following steps. Now we're going to figure out where we want the mailbox on our paper here. So this is vellum cardstock. And what I did to get that really cool shape that's kind of got a postage stamp look to it, which goes with the mailbox, is I used these perennial postage dies. So that's these ones. And there are a whole bunch of them in various sizes. They're really nice, and I've been using them a lot. They just came out in the new catalog this month, and they're really nice. I like them a lot. Okay, so let's see, where do we want that? So I think I'll kind of have it go off each edge, off the left edge and the right edge, just a little bit to make it kind of interesting. All right, but not too far over. All right, so what we're going to do is put dimensionals on the back, and then we're going to stick it on. So these are the little foam dimensionals. I use these all the time. Really good. They're good for all kinds of things. Oops, I think I put that one on the wrong way. Here, let me take that off. I want to make sure that it doesn't show through the other side there. So let's line it up properly here. There we go. That's better. And we'll put this on, put one over here, and we'll put one on the letter so that it'll hold it down. So I just put a few on there. There's not really any right or wrong way to do that, just however many you would like to use. And then we'll take the little backings off next. Okay. All right. And now we're going to put it on the vellum. So we're just going to kind of line it up to suit ourselves. I think that'll be pretty good. Yeah. And so that the adhesive will not show through the vellum, what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on the back of the vellum exactly where the mailbox is and where our sentiment is. So let's take our sentiment and we'll put that on underneath. And I think just one will do the job for that. That's pretty straightforward. So we'll put that on. And you can just put it down kind of underneath there, wherever you'd like. And now we'll flip it over and we will put some more dimensionals on. You can just cover up the ones that you had on already if you don't want to think about where to put the next ones. That's totally fine. And then we can adhere that as well. All right, so let's put that one on. Okay, so we'll take off all the little papers now. So what I like about these dies is, although it's a lot of pieces cutting and then just putting it together, actually the putting together part is pretty straightforward. I found it was not too hard to figure out. And doesn't really take very long either, because there's minimal stamping, right? So once you got the pieces all cut, it's pretty easy. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on our card base, and I'm using the thick basic white. So I'm going to use my bone folder here, and I do recommend a bone folder. It's made for this purpose of folding. They use them in bookbinding, which is where I saw them first about 30 years ago, because I used to do some bookbinding, and I find them to be really helpful. So now you can decide what kind of adhesive you want to put on the back. I'm just going to roll a little bit of this Stamp and Seal on, just on the edges here. I popped some things up on the other side, but you can still roll on the Stamp and Seal, and it's no trouble. And here we go. Let's just stick that down, kind of press it around the edges. And so there you go. There is our first card using the Sending Love bundle. So this one focuses on the dies. So the next card we're going to do is going to focus on stamping and using the stamp set. So let's get right to that. So here's the second card that we're going to do. And you could color this whole image in if you stamped it in white. But that would take a long time, and sometimes that would be a little bit intimidating for some people, especially if you don't have all the different markers and things. And so I wanted to make this a simpler way so that you could make the card quicker too and didn't have to take a long time to color. And you also only need these 3 inks if you're going to do these projects. You could even substitute the same red for all of the projects and then just have this Flirty Flamingo on the side. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do our stamping first. So I have this panel of Petal Pink, and then we're going to have to stamp that little envelope. So I'm going to dig out the piece for that. And we're going to stamp our label. So I'm just going to grab these pieces. I have all these little tiny pieces in my envelope here. So there's for the envelope. And this is again with those perennial postage dies. So really nice dies. And we're going to use that to stamp on as well. Okay, so let's do that and we'll get that part all done. Okay, so what do I need? Here we go. So let's do the big one first. This is Poppy Parade. And I'm going to stamp the big mailbox first. Now here's our stamp set again. If you're just joining me now, this is a free class, so anybody can watch it on replay anytime. And if you'd like to get the card packets like you see me working with here, my own little kit that I made up, you get everything you need to make the cards except for the stamps and ink. But I'll give them to you, all the packets for free with a $60 order by the end of January 24th. And with a $60 order, that's pre-tax and shipping, you'll also get to choose a free Sale-A-Bration item. And I'm using free papers here from Sale-A-Bration, so you can kind of get a look at some of them in advance. All right, so let's get out our mailbox here. Now you will need a larger block than a kit block for this one. So I'm using this block, which is block E, if you can see there. So I'm just going to put that right on there. And then we'll ink it up and we'll stamp on our panel. Then we'll do our other stamping after. Let's do the big one first. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way a little bit so you can see better. So you want to have a pretty good amount of ink on here. I find that the ink works really well on the basic white cardstock because it's, you know, made for that. And the ink is a little bit more challenging on the colors. And so just make sure that you ink it up really well. All right, let's see if we can line that up. So we're just going to press it down in the various parts to make sure it's evenly inked. And there you go. So that's very nice. Yeah. So I'll just set that off to the side and I'll clean that one later. Let's go on and we will do this little envelope and this mail tag down here. So the envelope is also in Poppy Parade. And we're going to get the envelope right out of our little stamp set here. So here it is. And we're going to ink that up. Make sure we got good coverage. That looks pretty good. And just stamp it on there. I'm going to hold it down to let the ink transfer. And pop that off. There we go. So that's our little envelope. And we can also go ahead and do our tag here. That's the mail. So again, this is the perennial postage dies. And this time we're going to use Flirty Flamingo. So we're going to mix up the colors a little bit on this one and have a couple of different ones. So here's the Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to stamp, as you can see on the tag, over toward the right-hand side. So there's room for this little heart afterwards. So let's get our word that says mail here. So as I was saying at the beginning, if you missed that part, these cards can be used for Valentine's Day, but there's actually no Valentine's sentiment on any of them. So you can use them for any occasion you like. I'm just using a lot of reds and pinks because I've got these beautiful Sale-A-Bration papers and I wanted to use those and try them out. And my favorite color is red, so I love using red things. So there we go, and that is our little piece for our label, stamped in Flirty Flamingo. All right, so let's move that out of the way too. We'll close up our ink, and then we got to do a little die cutting here. So I'm going to use my mini machine to do the die cutting for this. So I have one of these mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. So I'll move my ink pads here just a little bit. And we're going to cut out our envelope and our mailbox. So you can actually cut out this mailbox with the mini machine. So that is a really nice thing to know when you're using these dies. I wonder if you can do this part of the mailbox. This is the biggest one. Yeah, you could make it fit the mini machine if you're careful. So you could actually use these in the mini machine, these dies. So that's good to know. I hadn't actually checked that before I started because I have the bigger machine too. But yes, they would work in the mini machine. So that's good. And I'm just going to get out my plates here for the mini so we can do our die cutting. So I have plate number 1, and I'll need 2 plates of number 2. Here they are, much loved and used. And then we'll sandwich in between our paper and our die. So I like this machine because it's so simple and I understand it. It's very portable. I take it to the cottage with me every summer. You can take it to the cafe or to a crop or whatever. It's just so easy because it's really light and super easy to use as well. So you could use washi tape to keep that in place. I think I've got it in place enough to suit me. So I'm just going to run it through and crank it with my hand here. But feel free to use washi tape if you want to make sure that it doesn't move on you. All right, so here it comes. Let's see how we did. Oh yeah, that worked really well. So that's very nice. Okay, so we'll put the mailbox over there, and now we'll cut out our little envelope. And, you know, if you don't have this bundle, you could still make these cards and use different sentiments if you place your $60 order with me and get the card packets for free, because actually you could just cut out, you could use different sentiments and you could cut out all of the things with scissors instead. So you don't have to actually use the same bundle if you don't want to. Except for the mailbox. That it's better to have the stamp set if you want to actually make the mailbox, but maybe you have one already, so that would work too. All right, so let's see how we do here. Okay, let's get that going. All right, I'll cut out our little envelope here. Okay, here we go. And then that's all the die cutting that we need to do. Or scissors. You could use scissors if you just have the stamp set. That's okay too. So there's my little envelope. All right, thank you, little mini machine. I'm just going to put you aside. And we'll move on to putting the rest of the card together. All right, here's my plates. Okay. So we've got all these pieces. Now, let's see how we need to construct this. So let's put our little envelope onto our mailbox first and just kind of give that a complete look. So we're just going to put that on kind of at an angle. You can decide what angle you want it. And I'm just going to use, like in the previous card, I'm going to use a little glue dot. So I'm just going to put that down onto the glue dot, carefully peel up, and then the glue dot is on the back. So we'll just put it there. And I have cut out this little teeny heart from Poppy Parade paper. And I'm going to use just a tiny, tiny bit of the multi-purpose liquid glue for that. Okay, so let's just put a tiny amount. You don't need very much. And just want to get enough, but not too much. Oops, must have let this dry out a little bit. Yes, I did. Okay, so now I'm getting a little blob. Okay, so I'm going to use my little tweezers. So these are just ordinary tweezers you'd get from the pharmacy. And I'm going to see if I can pick this up and place it on without gluing myself, which would be nice. So we're just going to put that down. And look at that. So easy as that, with the help of these little tweezers, we've got that all put together. All right, now let's put together our tag too while we're at it here. So we have another heart that we cut out with the Sending Love dies. And this time I'm just going to use a glue dot because the glue dots are smaller than this heart, but they were bigger than the previous one. So I find the glue dots are more convenient when you're doing these little tiny things. So I'm just going to put that there. So we've got the heart next to the mail. All right, and now we have this little tag, and I'll show you where I got that one from. That was from a whole different set of dies. You don't need to worry about that, though. If you don't have these, it's okay, because I will cut these for you when you get my packets for free with your $60 order. So it'll be included. It's this die right here, and I really like it to use as a tag on things. It's actually part of these waves dies. So I've had these for a while. And I've used the waves for different things, but honestly, I use the tag ones the most. And I really like using them because you can thread ribbon right through them. And I find that gives a really nice decorative touch. So we're just going to stick on our little tag with our dimensionals here. So if you're watching today and you're new to my classes, this is basically what one of my team classes is like. That's $15 a month when you join my team. No selling is necessary and everybody's welcome. Just message me if you'd like more information about that because there's a really good deal on during Sale-A-Bration. And it's also what my classes are like. I offer in-person and online classes and I do them very much like this. So there is the tag. All right. So let's put together all this other stuff. So what we'll do first is we'll adhere our paper to the white panel to the Poppy Parade panel, and then we can put together all the other pieces. And this paper is actually another one of the free Sale-A-Bration papers that you get with a $60 spend. And I'll show you. It is called Sunny Days, and I think this is really cute. It's very kind of springy. Look at all this, and you've got raindrops as well as clouds. I love the cherries, they're so nice. And then you've got these nice flowers and some more flowers. If you flip it over, you've got all kinds of other things too. So you've got more clouds and different clouds. Oh, maybe we've got that one twice. I think we do. So I think we're missing the strawberry paper. And I want to show you that because I like that one. So let me just grab that because there's cherries and strawberries. Yes, I missed the strawberries. I can't miss them. They're my favorite fruit, and I really like this paper. Isn't it cute? And then on the back, you've got all these cute little butterflies. So really, really nice choices for the free Sale-A-Bration papers. So free with every $60 spend, and there's no limit. So if your order were, say, $240, you could pick 4 of the $60 items in the same order, which is great. I love that they do that. In my opinion, it's the best promotion of the whole year with Stampin' Up! Because you can chalk up so much free stuff. And if you're a demonstrator, that is, if you join my team, for example, you don't have to sell anything. You can just buy for yourself and or your friends and family. You also get to rack up product credits as well as free stuff. So there are all kinds of benefits to being part of Stampin' Up! And during Sale-A-Bration is one of the best times to join, I think. All right, so we've got that panel ready. Now we've got our mailbox and we've got our tag and we've got our ribbon. And the ribbon is actually another free Sale-A-Bration choice. So this is Pool Party, and it is called Crinkle Ribbon. So it's 5/8 of an inch, and it works really well on this card because the color in the background here in the paper is Pool Party. So it kind of ties it all together. And what we're going to do, if you get the packets for this, you'll see that there are 2 pieces of ribbon that you'll have cut. And the larger one, the longer one, is the one you're going to feed through your tag. So you just kind of feed it through both sides like that so that it's on the back there. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick it down on the back. So I like to stick it down so it's not kind of wobbling all over the place. So I just use a little bit of Stampin' Seal because a dry glue, like a tape glue, like Stampin' Seal, or glue dots is the best thing to use for ribbon. It just works better than the liquid glues. They just kind of make a big mess and they don't dry very quickly. So this just sticks it immediately. And then you can kind of see where you're going to put your tag. So I'd suggest sort of positioning it first. And then you can pick up your mailbox and see kind of how far down you want it to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the bottom part here. Whoops, there's a pin that just went flying. We're going to cut off the bottom, and we don't really need that part with the grass for this card. So we're just going to take that right off and position this on here. So let's see, how is this going to go? How do we want this? So you can just sort of put this wherever you like, wherever it looks good to you, and arrange it before you stick it down. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and put on the dimensionals on the back of our mailbox. So here we go. You don't need too many. It'll stick down really well. And I'm just going to use those 4. That should be more than enough. And we'll put that on first, and then we'll put on our tag as well. So we just want to arrange our tag kind of where we want it. And that should be pretty good. I think that's good. So you can just put it wherever you like. Any place will look very nice, actually. You don't have to fuss over it. And then we're going to stick on the tag. Now we've popped this up, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on this side so that we don't pop that up unevenly and have this side up more than the right side. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just measure that up here. Just kind of place it there, and then we'll know where to put them. So I'm going to put 1 on the top here and 1 on the bottom, and then 1 on the top again and 1 on the bottom. And what I'm doing here is overlaying them on top of both the paper and the ribbon so that the ribbon doesn't move around. Maybe it doesn't bother everybody, but I don't like it when the ribbon moves around a lot on the card. I like it to just stay where I put it. So that's kind of the method to my madness there. All right, so we can just go ahead and stick that on. And now what we can do is stick these parts to the back, these parts of the ribbon. So I'm going to use glue dots for that. I find that's the simplest and easiest. So here's my glue dot. And here's my second glue dot. And I should tell you too, if you decide to go ahead and place a $60 or more order with me, I do have other ordering perks as well that you can read about on my blog. So just click learn more in this post. And I have, for example, every month a free tutorial bundle that I give out to any orders, actually. Anybody who orders, it doesn't matter what amount. And I also have a card of the month that I send people to make. So I do like to gift all my customers with some nice things because I really, really appreciate every single sale that I get. It makes such a tremendous difference to me. So thank you to all of you who are customers or who have been customers because it really makes a big difference to me. All right, let's see if we can kind of cut that to suit. So you can just cut it to whatever size you want it to be. It really doesn't matter. I cut mine fairly small so that it'll fit in the envelope really well. And now all we need to do is use our dimensionals to adhere our panel to our card base, which is petal pink. So I really like this color. It's so nice. And it is the color of the flowers here and the color of our mailbox. And then I use the Flirty Flamingo, which is kind of in between the red and the petal pink. And I find that it works really well with the color scheme. So let's get our dimensionals out again, and we will stick this together, and then that card will be done too. All right, so here we go. Okay, so if you're looking for what supplies you would need if you get these packets free with your order, I have a full supply list of what I used on my blog post that you can access. But I can tell you that all you need for inks are these ones right here. So I've got Real Red, Poppy Parade, and Flirty Flamingo. And so those are the 3 inks I used. So I tried to keep it fairly limited so it wouldn't be too overwhelming. And then, of course, I used the bundle and the Sending Love stamp set primarily. And then I cut out all of the other pieces with the dies as well. So I used the bundle and then these 3 inks. And that's really all you need, as well as, of course, your blocks or any of your basic tools like that. So here is the card, and that is it for that one. So that wasn't too hard either. And just like I do in my classes that I offer in person and online, I save the easiest one till last because I figure that usually our energy is the most at the beginning or the middle of the class, and then by the end, we're getting a little bit tired, and so I like to have the easy one at the end. So here's the easy card that we're going to do today. And I'm actually using note cards and envelopes for this. So they're already pre-cut for you by Stampin' Up. And this one is not a hard one to put together at all. So let's get right to it. And we'll do our stamping first. So first we're going to use this little scrap of Flirty Flamingo. And we're just going to stamp this sentiment on the bottom. So we're going to use the Real Red for that. And I was getting low on my Real Red, so I just re-inked it the other day. So I'm hoping it's not too juicy, but juicy enough to do what I need to do today. So we will see. Now, what did I do with my stamp set? Here we go. So we're using this one, A Little Love From Me to You. So here it is. And I'm going to need a larger block, just kind of a long block for that. And I'm going to use this one. But you can use any one that's big enough for it. It doesn't matter. This is H, so I'm going to use block H. And I just picked it up like that, and we will ink it up. And I'm going to check my inking here to just make sure that it's got enough. Oh yeah, it's got lots. It's very juicy now. Maybe too much so. All right, so let's Just see if we can line that up. So I'm just going to hold it down for a few seconds because, again, when you're using inks on the colored cardstocks, it takes a little bit more to get the same result as you would on white. Yeah, so that looks really good. And they do dry a little bit darker or brighter as you go on, but that looks pretty good. All right, so let's close up our ink pad. And you may have noticed this ink pad is different than the others. This is actually an older generation of ink pad that they used to make, and now they make these other ones instead. But it still works really well, so I keep using it. That's one thing I like about Stampin' Up! Is I find their products last for a long time. So here we go. We're going to cut chevron shapes in either end. And that's simply by cutting a little bit down the middle, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. So cut down the middle and then cut in to the center. And we're going to cut into the center from the other side. And you don't have to fuss about it being exactly in the middle. It usually comes out to look really nice either way. I don't normally measure it, but if you're someone that likes to measure, go right ahead and make sure that you're comfortable with what you're doing. Okay, so here we go. Let's try to get that one to the middle. And we'll come at it from the other direction. Okay, all right, so there is our sentiment with the chevron shape. And that is all for stamping on this one. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is put together all the pieces. So we're going to be using that beautiful Most Adored paper again that is free during Sale-A-Bration with your $60 purchase, or $60 spend, that is. And we're going to just put that on this little rectangle of real red. So, and you could use this side if you'd prefer the gold. That would also be very nice. But I was into the reds and pinks the other day, so that's why I decided to go with that. And I like these little hearts on the other side. I thought they were quite cute. All right. Okay, so we've got that. And now we need our little note card. So these note cards are great. They come in a pack of 20, I believe, for around $10 or so. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's around $10. And they're just really super useful things to have around. So that's all set to go. Now, what we can do is go ahead and put this on. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, but you could use your liquid glue. That would work really well for this as well. And the liquid glue allows you to kind of wiggle it around a little so you don't have to stick it down hard right away. So you can just kind of decide how far up you want it to be or how far down. I think that's fine. There we go. And I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm just going to use these edge pieces actually, because I have those left over. Why not use all the little bits, right? Get your money's worth. So I'm going to do that. Put one in the middle and one over there on the end. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. And then we'll just put this at the bottom wherever you like it to be, as far down or far up as you want. Mine, I just put it kind of in the middle there. And now we've got another envelope to construct. So we've done this one before. If you've been watching the whole video, my first card started out with one of these and all the mailbox dies. So we just fold in on all the score lines. Oh, and by the way, if you're just joining me now and missed the first part of the video, no worries, there will be a replay available as soon as I'm done, so no problem. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll use our Stampin' Seal, or whatever adhesive you like to use. And we're just going to put the adhesive on the inside there. We're going to press that down really hard So we put those little flaps in first, and then next we're going to put this one that has the cut off piece on it. We're going to put that next. So I'm going to roll this up a little bit. That's actually a tip with this Stampin' Seal. If you're trying to use it and it's not going, you might just need to roll it back. You can see how the glue is just coming up there, because sometimes it just gets a little out of alignment, and you just need to roll it up a little. All right, so we got that one on. Now let's put some on that flap as well. And we're just going to press that down really hard because it has a tendency to want to pop up because it's thick paper, being cardstock. So now we're going to take our little heart that was cut with the Sending Love dies, and we are going to put that on the front. So if you've liked this class today and want to get the free packets, it's free with $60 order. And you also get to pick a Sale-A-Bration item free. If you like the class and would like to check out my other classes, just click through to learn more. That's right in this post. And you can find right on my blog there all of my classes. So I have in-person and online classes both. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about those as well. But they basically work like what you're seeing here today. Although normally I'd have 4 cards in most classes, whereas online I'm just doing, for these Facebook Lives, I'm just doing 3 because that takes quite a while by itself. All right, so we've got the envelope there. Now we need these 2 hearts. So let's get those. Now this big heart is really cute. I like this one. And it's actually made with the Bee Builder punch. So this is part of the Be Mine suite. And I really like that. It's part of the Be My Valentine bundle as well. So these are the wings for the bee. That's the body for the bee. And I like that it comes with that because you can also use this as a heart, not just as the wings. So it's a really useful punch, I find. And here is the heart. So we're just going to arrange these. And this is another one of those little hearts from the Sending Love dies. So once again, the Sending Love dies look like this. And whoops, I got this one kind of covering up the little flag for the mailbox there. And there's that heart, and then there's a second one down there as well. So it's got all kinds of nice dies that I really like. So let's use our dimensionals, and we'll just put all those items on, and then we'll finish up with some embellishments and ribbon. Now this one, I want to pop it up, but I'm going to use mini dimensionals that will fit a little bit better. I use the main, the larger size, the standard size dimensionals most, but every once in a while you need one of those little tiny ones, I find. So I like to have those around as well. You get 300 of these in a pack and 720 of these, so they're actually a really good economical choice too. All right, so let's put this kind of off at a bit of a rakish angle there. Let's put our big heart on next. Kind of overlap and bring all the items together here, bringing this into the whole picture. And we'll have this guy in the middle, just kind of giving some unity to the whole thing. All right, and then we're going to put our little embellishments on. I don't know if you can see them, but these are the iridescent pearls. So they're called Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. You can see I've used a lot of them. There's a couple of sizes that you get, and you get quite a bunch of them. You get 150 in a pack, and they're very pretty. They look so nice on a project like this. And what I'm going to use to put them on, because they're so small, is my Take Your Pick tool, which has a little putty on the end, and that will pick them right up. So you can see there it is on the end, and I don't have to do that with my finger, which is really nice. All right, so let's pick up the next one. We'll just kind of put it there. And we'll put another one on. Let's see, how about like that? And that. And we'll put another one on over here. just kind of off in another angle. So that's our little embellishments all placed there. So I'm just going to put the cap on so I don't take off all that putty. And then we have one more piece to put on, and that is the ribbon. And in your packets, I'll include little pieces of ribbon pre-cut. Since I'm doing this at home for myself, I'm just going to use the ribbon right on the spool because I waste a lot less of it that way. But it is called Silver and White Sheer Ribbon. Now this came out in the Christmas holiday mini, and I was really happy that they carried it over and did not retire it because I love this ribbon. You can also color it with your alcohol markers. So with your Stampin' Blend markers, you can use the brush tip just lightly and color this ribbon any color you want. So I just find it a really, really useful ribbon, and I like it very much. Okay, so there is our little bow. So let's cut off this side. So I cut that a little bit too long. So I'll cut a little more, but that is all the waste that there is. That tiny piece, just because I misjudged how much I needed, by just using it on the spool, tying it on the spool, and then cutting. So it's really a great idea to cut on the spool, or not to cut on the spool rather, but to create your bow right on the spool. Okay, so let's stick that down with a mini glue dot. And here we go. So let's put that kind of here-ish, I think would be nice. Yeah. Just move that down slightly so we can see our little embellishment. And there is our simple card. So I'll just bring all the cards together again so you can see them. So here was our first card, using the dies from Sending Love primarily, and the Most Adored paper from Sale-A-Bration. Our second card is this one, and this one uses the Sunny Skies paper from Sale-A-Bration and primarily the stamp set from the Sending Love bundle. And then this one here is just a really super simple card that used the Most Adored paper again, a little bit of the dies from Sending Love, and a little bit of the stamp set as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please let me know if these classes are of value to you. I'm just doing them kind of as a trial during Sale-A-Bration to see how they go and whether people like them or not. So do let me know what you think. And if you have any questions about anything you saw here today, please let me know. I'd be very happy to message or speak with you. So thanks again, and have a wonderfully crafty week. See you next time.